Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of my World War I series thing. If you haven't seen part 1, just get on that. So we left off when Germany invaded France. Right now, we're all caught in a stalemate, which means no winners. And everybody knew that this war was just to kill each other, was just to make everybody wait themselves out and then die slowly by themselves. Britain's Oh, sorry. Britain started blocking Germany's food shortages, but by having a naval blockade, which just means they didn't let them pass that line. Britain was also mad about the Ottoman entry because the Ottomans had lots and lots of oil. Nobody wanted to die, and there was one idea that was floating around: new frontiers, which would be good for everybody involved. But the fighting wasn't only going on in Europe, there was also Africa. The Allies hit hard, especially right there, on German East Africa, which they soon invaded. Okay guys, here's the sad part. This fighting, with the Allies and Germany both enlisted Scratch that, what I just said. So, back to Europe. Well, not back to Europe, because we're about to talk about Japan. I'm dumb. So, Japan remembered that they were actually in this war and decided to take some of Germany's stuff. You can see the stuff they took. You can't really see it that good, but that's the stuff they took. And Italy. Now let's talk about Italy. Italy was actually originally friends with Germany and Austria-Hungary, but they gave a bit too much ouchies to Italy, and the Allies promised to give them some of this stuff. So they joined the Allies. Yay! So Italy started a new frontier right about there. You can kind of see a little line. But it was mostly stalemates like everything else. Now, a bit of backstory on the Ottomans right now. The Ottomans were divided. This is actually a pretty funny story. So the Ottomans were like, no, let's not join the war. And some of them were like, yes, let's join the war. But some people just went and attacked Russia. And oops, because that brought them into the war by accident. As I mentioned, Britain wasn't too happy because of oil. So the Ottomans pushed up to Russia, and that was a fail. And then they tried to invade the Sinai Peninsula. It's a beautiful illustration. And that's actually a fail, but it looks like a smiley face. Then the Allies tried to invade the Gallipoli Peninsula, which was a long, hard battle. It was sad. The Battle of Gallipoli. I'm super bad. Battle. But it was an Ottoman win, so yay. Here's a kind of amusing story. So Germany got some spies, and they sent them to Afghanistan. But the spies got a bit bored, and they got drunk. And turns out, don't get drunk in Afghanistan. Bit of life wisdom. They got killed. But Germany knew that they might not win this war, so they had a plan. Always have a plan, kids. So there was this big meeting where everybody said, let's not be jerks. But Germany was about to be jerks. They started bombing British cities and sending gases into the trenches. And they also sank a bunch of ships. One of those ships had lots of Americans on it. Meanwhile, in Austria-Hungary, they couldn't really invade Serbia very well. Bulgaria wished it was this big because it was very small. And so Bulgaria actually joined Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottomans. And together they knocked out Serbia. Yeah. Now, Portugal was getting to be friends with Britain, and Germany didn't like that, so they declared war on Portugal. A long, bloody battle began when the Germans invaded Verdun, Verdun, a city in France. France needed some help, and they called for Britain. Britain started their own long war in the Somme. Meanwhile, in Russia got pulled back very much. Okay, that's just what we're saying right now. Greece was trying to decide which side they would join. The king really liked Germany and Austria, but the prime minister really liked the Allies. They invaded They joined the Allies. In 1917, nobody wanted this anymore. They wanted it to end, and Russia just had a revolution. They became the Soviet Union. Everyone knows how I feel about that. Hurrah! So Germany sent this list to Mexico, and it said, "Hey, Mexico, you should invade the U.S. or something." But the U.S. saw it before Mexico, and they were mad. They joined the war. Yay! But that was bad for Germany. And there was one way to still win this war. They thought that they needed to make France and Britain surrender. So they hit really hard. Then they hit really hard again. It drained their resources really big. Then the Allies hit hard, and they hit hard again. Germany was being invaded from everywhere. Germany and all the Central Powers were being completely invaded. Austria fell. The Ottoman Empire fell. Bulgaria fell. And finally, on November 11th, 1918, Germany surrendered. 16 million people died in this war. That's really sad. The end. Oh, by the way, let's have another war.